Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Easter holiday. Hopefully, everyone's having a good day celebrating their time with their friends and loved ones or whoever that may be. Uh, I guess if I figured in light of the Easter holiday, I guess I figured it would be good to do I guess like a movie review, something, I guess classic or sorts. I figured that particular one happens to be Star Trek Nemesis, and the reason I say that because you know, you know, it happens to be the 20th anniversary of that film, and the likes of many films that came out that year of in 2002, like say Triple X and Die Another Day and Gangs of New York and many others, and of course the original Resident Evil 2 as well. So I can't believe it's been nearly 20 years since the release of Nemesis, and of course at the time, unfortunately it was it was the last movie to feature the next generation cast, even though that wasn't the initial plan, only because for many reasons, like the franchise was kind of like in a sense suffering from like franchise fatigue because Voyager ended like the year previously. The Star Trek Enterprise prequel series was on at the time, and it was kind of like in a sense blowing its, I mean, over expanding itself, I guess, if that makes sense. And I mean, the premise of Nemesis was interesting because you finally had the Romulans as the center stage, you know, as the villains of sorts, and you get to see Will and Deanna finally get married, which I thought was a highlight of the movie. And of course, a young Tom Hardy appears as Shinzon before his career took off and became more well known. However, the problem with Nemesis is it's not a terrible movie. I mean, it has some good action sequences, but I feel the biggest problem with Nemesis is the characterization. And the reason I say that because Shinzo feels like a like an obvious, uh, COD imitator, but not really with much motivation for his actions, other than it seems like another story of petty revenge. Rather than laying his character out, feeling more empathy for him, I suppose. And a lot of the TNG characters like say Beverly and Worf are kind of like reduced to almost cameos. Like they're not really given much significance to the story. It kind of feels like it's another Picard and Data story. Even though yes, I mean Patrick Stewart, Brent Spiner do the best to carry. Uh, the movie the best they can, but it would have been nice to see each of the characters, like say, have a little bit more growth, show like what made the TNG characters that fans came to know and love, over the 15 years, as a crew and almost like a family of sorts, which was, I guess, in a sense, positive aspect about the original series cast films, since I mean, the characters actually, grew, from their, compared to the television series, whereas like the TNG characters did it. I mean, they showed some growth, but not really much. And and in a sense, like you know, Nemesis, I mean, has the great space battles and all, but like I said, I think a better story would have been if you know. Sela, the daughter of the alternate universe, Tashiar, was the main villain in this story, which would have made a lot more sense since that storyline kind of felt unresolved, and it would have been kind of interesting to see her character return, to provide like a sense of closure, which would have been uh, nice to see. Uh, like I said, for me personally, I've always felt, in terms of the TNG films, First Contact still remains the best one out of the bunch. Because, in that case, it had a good story about time travel, and something that meant a lot to Starfleet history as well. I mean, Nemesis is like, I don't know how to say it. Like I said, it's better than Insurrection, that's for sure. But like it felt like you wanted something more. Like it could have been better than what it was. Like especially the premise. Like what if you had like someone who was like a mirror verse of you, but like say their life played out different than the one you had. That would have been kind of nice to see the film explore in more detail. It would have been allowed to do so. So Like I said, even after 20, all I'll say is after 20 years, I mean, nemesis, it's not as bad of a film as it was made out to believe at the time, because it's watchable, but like I said, I feel it could have been something more. So that's that. Happy holidays, everyone. Hope I'll be back with more content soon. Thanks.